Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming this evening. I really appreciate your time and for coming out here tonight for the first Mental Health World Cup draw. And welcome to all those on YouTube. We're streaming live. You can see all of you guys online. Really excited for this. We've never done this before. It's the first time. But we're just delighted to see how the event has grown over the last 11 years, how we've got over half of the companies involved are new teams. And we're just looking forward to what we're going to achieve this year. So I've got a brief slide deck to go through to take us through a little bit of the history, how we got here today, how much we've raised so far. And we're really delighted to have Justin and Danny Shittu, ex-QPR Nigeria legend, to tell us a few words as well about what this tournament means for him and how mental health applies to him and to the rest of us and how important it is today. So I'm just going to... you have to forgive me, I haven't got a cameraman or a tech person managing in the background. I'm going to do it all myself. So let me just get on my slides. Okay. So for those of you who know me, Giancarlo Gaglioni, founder of the Mental Health World Cup. This isn't my full-time job. I work for a company called Overbury. I do office fit out. But I started this with my brother for a tragic event that happened in 2012. My youngest brother, he was 26, took his own life. It was the 10th of February, and it was a shock for us because at that time, we didn't know he had depression. We didn't know he had any mental health issues. He didn't tell anyone of what he was feeling. Like most men, he kept it inside. He didn't want to tell anyone. He wanted to show this strong macho approach that he was actually suffering in silence. On the back of that, me and my family, we wanted to do something because we just couldn't believe that someone could be taken away from us like that. So we created lots of different events. We did charity quiz nights, we did dinner dances. But one thing that he used to love, and we have always loved, is football. So we thought, why don't we try and do a World Cup in a day? It's a great idea. Get 32 teams, lots of people together. And we used the channel of football to not only show other people about the power of mental health and how important it is to get men talking, but also the idea that there's a charity out there called Calm who do loads of things in this area. And if we can reach one other family, one other person who's struggling might pick up the phone and speak to someone like Calm and might save their lives. So this was a photo back in 2012. That's my dad holding the Mental Health World Cup trophy back then. That's my brother Gianpiero, who moved to LA a few years ago. And it's fun to look back at because that was a park in Tottenham. He created that Mental Health World Cup trophy out of papier-mâché and sprayed it gold. And it's incredible to see where we've gone to from there to where we are today at QPR. We called it the Land the Baron World Cup for many years. So my brother was called Lanfranco. And we used to call him the Baron, which for us was like this term we used to affectionately know him as, like the expert. So we used to call him Land the Baron, Land the expert. And for many years we called it that. But as the tournament grew and as more people wanted to take part, we realized that if you don't know Lanfranco, if you don't know who Land the Baron is, it wasn't very accessible. So we changed the name in 2017, 2016 to the Mental Health World Cup because we wanted to say something that just said it on the tin. So if you're taking part in the Mental Health World Cup, you know what you're there for, you know what you're standing for, and we just wanted to kind of get that message out there to all the people who need it to start talking about mental health. When we started looking at the stats, it was really scary to see that it is the biggest killer. So this was a chart that was put together a few years ago. But for men under 45, it's the biggest killer, and a lot of people don't know that. They think it might be cancer, they think it might be other things like accidental poisoning, transport accidents, other diseases. But number one, it is suicide, which is really scary. And it's really unbelievable that that exists today. And that's hopefully why we've had so much support over the last few years, because people are starting to realize more and more people are getting taken away by this silent epidemic, and we need to do something about it. So back in 2012, I looked out to charities to get behind. And there's loads of great mental health charities, guys like the Samaritans, Mind. There's so many different charities out there that I can't name all in one go. But I chose the Campaign Against Living Miserably because I really liked their approach. At the time, my brother was 26, and they came at it from a different approach. they used music and sport and festivals to try and demystify the idea and the taboo around suicide. So I got behind their campaign, and I really want to try and raise money and raise their profile. And they continue to campaign against uniting the UK against suicide. They see it as the biggest killer, and they want everyone to really be aware of this, so that hopefully we can save those lives. The stats are shocking. 6,500 people die by suicide every year. And it's a shame. When I started working with the charity back in 2012, that number was around 4,500. So it just goes up year in year. And I think with the difficulties that we're all facing, coming out of COVID, the financial crisis, there's so many things that go on in life. It gets harder and harder for people to open up. So it's really scary to see that this number just keeps going and rising, and it doesn't show any sign of stopping. And you look around, and at the moment, the government, the press, there's not enough around it. At the moment, the awareness is getting better, but still, I have a story of a really close friend who lost their brother last week. And it's heartening to see that this stuff is still happening, it's still very real. And a lot of it is down to, the funding is not there, the support networks aren't there. And it's charities like Khan that we need to get behind to try and raise that money, to try and get people, to try and save those lives. So Calm are there to help. They provide a lot of services. They have a helpline and a web chat. So for anyone who's struggling, so when my brother was struggling, he used Google to ask those questions. Like a lot of us nowadays, we don't go to our mate and say, oh, what's the answer to this question? We tend to Google search it. Charities like Calm are anonymous. You can pick up the helpline, you can go through web chat, and you can talk about those issues. They've got guides that can support people. If you know a friend who's going through a tough time, have a look at some of their guides. And they do groundbreaking campaigns. They do things a bit differently. I don't know if any of you have seen the ITV campaign that they did, where they had on top of the ITV tower 84 statues and mannequins of people about to take their own lives. So they do things really shocking and really kind of trying to get people's attention. But it tries to bring to life that, that's how many people take their lives every week. And when you look up, if you're walking down the South Bank for that week, you see all those mannequins standing on the top of the tower. That really hits home. And they try and inspire people through these Calm communities. A lot of it is down to network and that support network for anyone who's going through difficult times. So that's how many people they spoke to in 2022. It's free and it's anonymous. These aren't just people who have just jump on the helpline. They are trained counsellors. They are there to help, and they really can. If you know someone who's going through a difficult situation, these are exactly the type of people you should try and push them towards. And a call for help was answered every 59 seconds. That just puts into context, over the course of last year, every minute they were picking up the phone trying to save a life. So for a lot of us who have a really good life, good family, good job, just remember in the back of our heads, there are people out there who are struggling. Every minute, someone in the UK is picking up the phone because they think they might be taking their own life. So the history of the tournament, it started back in 2012, in February. Downhills Park, a tiny little park in Tottenham. That's where I grew up. Jumpers for goalposts. We did get 32 teams. We raised about £1,000 that day. Everyone just turned up. We had a little kickabout. It was really good. And we grew the tournament for a few years. We got really lucky with an introduction to Arsenal. Arsenal in the community, they do a lot of great work. They let us play in their community hub. We played there for 2 years. They had a 4G pitch. And the event was great. But from that event, we were really lucky that Justin attended one of those events. And he saw how the potential in our event, and how we only had 2 five-a-side pitches and about 100 people wanted to play. And he said to me, he's like, if you want to grow this tournament, I think we can help you. Hence how we got to QPR today. So since 2019, we've been here. We've been growing the tournament year on year. To this year, it's just been massive. We've got 40 teams signed up. We've got over 10 teams in the background waiting and desperate for someone to drop out so that they can take their place. And we've raised a phenomenal amount of money. So at this point, I'd really like to introduce Justin Stone. Has been phenomenal in supporting us and growing this tournament from QPR in the community.
Thank you very much. Yep, Justin Stone. I'm the events manager for QPR Community Trust. a really good friend of mine, Nick Robson, introduced me to the tournament in 2018. And sadly, it was about 2 months after my brother-in-law took his life. So when I came along to a tournament, heard Giancarlo talk about his brother and a number of other guest speakers, it meant something, more than it probably would have done 6 months beforehand. So playing on a really small pitch at Arsenal was quite good for me because I can't run anymore. But I thought the tournament could grow. I liked the reason why they were doing it. It was the first time I was introduced to calm as well. So as Giancarlo said, I'm very lucky that I've been at QPR for 16 years working in my role, and I have access to a pitch at the end of the season for a lot of community use. So over the last 16 years, this is the most memorable tournament, and I think it's the event that I try to put the most in throughout the year because I know what it means, and if it means one person picks up that phone and it makes a difference to them, then I think I said this when I first met you, anything I can do to help it grow, I'll do. So, so since 2019, we've had a tournament at QPR, bar COVID. We've had a couple of adapted tournaments as well, but it's just a pleasure to see 320 grown men go full throttle, trying to kick Danny Shittu. Last year was quite amusing. But yeah, it's just a pleasure to have you guys at QPR, and obviously a lot of staff behind the scenes get involved with it as well. QPR are blessed that we share our office space with the NHS Northwest London, who work with people in the local community about their mental health. So they're really keen to get involved as well this year, and hopefully it will just grow and grow and make more funding and give more opportunities for people. Mental health's underfunded massively. My brother-in-law spoke to people, it still didn't help. So all the funding that we get, obviously Calm gets a lot, we get a lot from QPR, we put it back into our programme. So we work with a number of young people with mental health issues weekly, and again, through sport, we try to help them with their day-to-day life. So yeah, just a massive thank you. Thank you for coming, and hopefully it'll be the biggest and the best tournament so far at Loftus Road Stadium. Hopefully the football's quite good. The football's not been great here this year. So hopefully we'll see some good football come the 14th of May. Cool, thank you.
Really delighted as well to have Danny with us. Danny was with us last year. He's been an ambassador behind the scenes, really supporting what we're trying to create, and really blessed to have Danny here today to just say a few words, if you wouldn't mind, about how he finds working with us and what he thinks about the tournament and why he's here today. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you very much. Do you want me to just put it up here? Yeah, I'll just put it there. Hi, thank you very much for coming here today and for letting me come up on the stage. Just want to say thank you very much for inviting me. It means a lot for me to be here today. I go to quite a few things, but most of them you go to, hello, hi, do your role and then leave. But I must say, since I've been involved with this, what's been going on and what they're doing, it's something that it means so much to me, because we all know people, you know, in whatever walks of the world we go in. As men, we go through a lot of things. We go through a lot of challenges, and especially me being a big guy, you know, just don't talk about it, stay strong and everything. But we go through a lot, you know, and many times we don't have people to speak to. And it's only been since I've been involved last year that I've been telling people, look, it's fine to talk about it. Talk about it, it helps. You know, find somebody to speak to, and it helps you, and it does help. And I'm just being so grateful that I've been involved with this, you know, with what they're doing, and seeing how much they're helping a lot of men out there, because it's something that we need, especially, like you said, the way things that are going on in the world right now. You know, as men, we have a lot of challenges. Women have challenges as well, but as men, we have a lot of challenges as well, and a lot of things we're dealing with. So it's just so good. Being involved in this just means so much to me. You know, thank you guys for putting this on, Justin, for holding it at QPR as well, which is my club, and it means so much. And I'm just saying that it's just so it's just amazing just to be part of this and see what's going on and play football as well. At the end of the day as well. Last year I did get kicked. I got smashed quite a few times. We didn't do too well, but you know, to see how many teams are involved this year and how many teams are waiting to want to get involved as well, it shows that, you know, it means a lot to a lot of guys, and may it keep growing and keep getting bigger and bigger, because you are touching a lot of people and it's bringing a lot of awareness to a lot of people. So thank you very much, and all the best today to all the teams involved, and hopefully you get into a good group to hopefully maybe not play me, because this year I'm going to smash people if I play. Thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Danny, Shittu, fantastic. And yeah, you have been warned. The word on the street is that Italy are trying to recruit him as we speak, so be warned. Okay, let's go through just a little bit about the reach that we've had. So we've had 11 World Cups, growing every year since the first one in 2012. We've touched over 2,000 footballers, and what's great about this is that every footballer who turns up, I've spoken to a few people tonight, they've mentioned how they've heard a friend who's played in this tournament, and it's just growing more and more, and that's exactly what we want. The whole point of this event is to try and get people talking and be people aware of Calm and of this idea of this Mental Health World Cup, bringing people together to talk about mental health. And we've raised a phenomenal amount of money. You know, I remember that first year we raised £1,000 and we were delighted. It's growing and growing. Last year we raised 80,000. This year we set out with a challenge to raise £100,000, which is an incredible amount of money, especially looking at the climate we're in, the difficulty that people are facing, for people to dig deep and try and help us reach that amount to try and save those lives. This is a little video that we created to try and promote the tournament. We created this last year. We wanted to make sure that this was the biggest one yet. It's a bit of footage to see for all those players who don't have to what to expect. It is fantastic. The grass is the smoothest grass you can play on, and the weather, wherever it is, we're going to have a great day once more with the sunshine. We're hoping as an 18,000-seater stadium, one day we want to fill it. We want to fill it. We have no reservations that we think one day we will. But slowly, for all those teams that are on board today, we know we're developing. We're going one more year. We're going to keep growing until we fill this stadium. So I really want to say a massive thank you to all the sponsors who have really helped us push the mark this year, push the boundaries of what we can achieve. Just a big round of applause for those of the people in the room and online, for all the companies that have really taken part and helped us today. Without these sponsors, we wouldn't be where we are today. I remember back in 2012, I spoke to companies about, will you help us with our charity event? And they were like, yeah, we'll help you with a charity event. It's for suicide prevention, and the companies would be like, oh, I'm sorry. 2012, you know, back then, companies did not want to even talk about mental health. They didn't want to look at suicide. So it's fantastic to see some really big names on this chart here who are getting really behind the movement and are massive supporters of, you know what, we're behind mental health. We're not afraid to talk about suicide, and we want to stop the epidemic. And that is the number we have hit to date. So I checked the numbers recently this morning. We are at 99,000 and a pound. So I just want to have a massive congratulations again. There's a few people in the room. For those online, this is incredible. For anyone who organises charity events, who tries to fundraise, you know how hard it is to go out there, knock on people's doors and try and get people to get behind a fundraising event. We are just delighted to be able to support Calm and the QPR Community Trust with this amount of money, and we think we're going to break the 100K mark. We've got some prizes and some fun things planned for the day. We think we're going to get there. So really, really excited, really pleased with all the people that have helped so far, all the people who are listening online. The amount of work, the amount of fundraising going on behind the scenes is phenomenal. And what does that relate to for a charity like Calm? There's a few stats here. You know, £8 of that could help answer one of those calls. £24 helps support those the materials for 4 families bereaved. For anyone who's lost someone through suicide and you feel lost, Calm is a great charity to try and just get you through that moment. You could £51 funds the fees for 100 life-saving chats with Calm. That is a massive amount. And 154 of that pounds could help provide specialist training for a helpline worker. These are small numbers when you break down 100,000 and how we're using that to try and help. This is a not-for-profit. I don't work for Calm. I don't work for the Mental Health World Cup. Everyone involved in this event are volunteers, and we are all about trying to raise money and raise awareness. So for those of you online and in the room, what have we got planned for the day? You would have seen on the website, it's going to be action-packed. Every single minute is allocated. We have got 320 players, 40 teams. It's like a military operation, but everyone will have an hour on that pitch. It starts at 9 o'clock. Everyone turns up. We'll give you your football shirts for the country that you've chosen, and it's all about getting ready. 10 o'clock, we're kicking off. We've got group stages. We've got 8 groups and 5 teams in each group. There are going to be 80 matches over those 4 hours. We have got 80 games, and they are going to be intense because you've got a 10-minute match and you've got a 2-minute break. For anyone who's a sub and you know what it's like when you're playing on that pitch, if you're coming on for 3 minutes, you're going to give you 100% because not every day you get to play on a professional in a football stadium. And then it comes to 2 o'clock. That is the time where we get the knockouts. We have created a wooden spoon tournament so no one goes home early. We want everyone to stay till the end. And we guarantee everyone will get an hour on that pitch. And trust me, at the end of that hour, you will be tired. You will be knackered, no matter how many subs you've got. And it's at 4:30 we will have the final. After a whole day of football, one team will be victorious. We'll have a presentation, and we've got a little auction which will just help us hopefully jump over that 100K mark. For those of you who have hopefully downloaded the app, we are partnering with the website Tournify. All the fixtures, all the schedules, everything that you need to know, the results, where you are on the table, it will appear on that website on the day. Please download the app on the App Store or Google Play so you know exactly where you are and where you need to be. Because if you're late on that pitch, you will be deducted goals. So trust me, you want to be on that pitch for those 10 minutes. A little bit of a kick up the bum for some of the teams who haven't signed up yet. We've got a few teams that haven't fulfilled their squads yet. Remember, you've got 8 players allowed. When you go into the website, if you click on the button Show Players and Teams, you will see who has been represented for your club. Some of you have 9 players. That's not allowed. You can only have 8. Yes, Denmark, LMP. We've got a Denmark in the room. There's 9 there. One of them has to go. I'll leave it to you guys to sort out how you want to get rid of them. But yeah, 8 players, and good luck with that. It's not about the players. We also want some fun for the spectators. So the doors open from 9:30. We want you to bring your family, your friends. We've got a series of challenges. So we've got a crossbar challenge. We've got a blindfolded penalty challenge. We've got an assault course. We want families who are in the audience to come up on the stage, on the pitch, and do some of these events and win a prize. We've also got a kids zone. We've got inflatables. We've got an Xbox room, table tennis, burger van. And at 4 o'clock, I've got 2 young kids and they cannot wait to get on the pitch because we've got a training session lined up on 2 or 3 pitches for the kids who are under 16. So anyone who's bringing kids, 4 o'clock, make sure they're ready to play some football. We've got some phenomenal auction prizes. We have got tickets for England versus Italy at Wembley in October, 4 tickets for that. We have got from Arsenal, Aaron Ramsey signed us a t-shirt from, well, I've been trying to get flogged that for a while. Hopefully, if Arsenal win the league, we might get some money for that one. Diego Maradona, a signed photograph from Diego. We have got an England signed shirt, and that was literally taken after Harry Kane scored his last goal, topping the most scored striker for England. And we've got some QPR great prizes. We've got a visit to the QPR training ground for 2 people, and a mascot experience. So for any of you who have children, the ability to come out on any game at QPR, to walk out with the players, to be part of the experience. We've got all of this available on the day. So please get ready to dig deep. We want to try and break the 100K mark on the day. Okay, that's the slide deck. We are now into the draw where we will find out who is playing who. So on the 40 team, I'm going to hand over to Justin and Danny to take us through the draw. And I'll be trying to keep up with them with the spreadsheet behind us.
So, you want to do the first one, Dan?
Good luck to all the teams.
Oh, not that one. we have got witnesses.
First team is Canada.
Canada.
Yes,
Group
Group A.
Second team for Group A, Belgium.
Hold on a second, I'm right a bit behind you. Canada. Yes. Belgium.
Denmark.
Denmark. Team of 9.
My favourite team, England.
England.
Is it one more for this group?
Yeah,
One more from this group.
it's not a bad
Last
group to be
one
honest.
is Sweden.
Sweden. There we
Yes.
are, Group A.
Yes.
Just as a recap, so we've got Canada, Belgium, Denmark, England, and Sweden. Let's move on to Group B.
South Korea.
South Korea. Sorry, I got in brackets the company. We've got Shaw Group.
Short group.
Okay.
Colombia.
Colombia, is that
TP
Bennett, the architects? First time in the tournament. Ukraine from Mayflex. Also their first time.
Japan.
Japan.
Tyndall Riley.
Tyndall Riley,
yeah.
also a newbie. A lot of newbies in Group B. Thank you very much. Oh no, sorry, what country is that?
Japan.
Japan. Oh no, sorry, I've got Mayflex.
Ukraine.
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 Thank you,
Yeah.
Danny. Ukraine.
Good shout, I wouldn't remember that.
Some nice bit of sponsorship for those guys.
The last team for Group B,
Yep.
Brazil.
Brazil. Is that arcade infrastructure?
Yep.
Also, so your Group B literally is the team of newbies. Good luck. Group
C is Portugal. Is
Portugal.
that Malin?
That's Malin, yeah?
Yeah, Malin.
Been involved in a tournament many times.
San Marino, Sail School.
San Marino, the Sail Group. Been involved many years. Very strong team.
Ghana.
Ghana, Overbury
Overbury
Central.
Central.
Their first time involved in a
My
tournament.
first time. Okay.
Mexico.
Mexico. That's John Doyle's team. Been involved a few times in the past as well.
Morocco.
And finally,
Elite
Morocco.
Electrical.
The guys from Elite Electrical. Done very well last year, got to the quarters. Okay, we're in Group D.
USA.
USA, Ampers and Floors. First time for those guys.
Senegal. Metric Solutions.
Senegal Metric Solutions, also a new team.
Spain.
Spain, Overbury Major Projects. Played many years. Haven't got far in the tournament. Hopefully they're going to change around this year.
They're not very good.
Italy. MHWC.
That's my team.
Is that your team?
Italy,
Oh,
Mental
okay.
Health World Cup.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Yours, Danny.
And
Yes.
it may be your team as well.
Come on.
Come on,
Yes.
we got
Wales.
And Wales, Brown and Carroll, their first year as well. Okay, we're halfway through. Recap there, you can see on screen, Group A, B, C, and D. Great job, fellas. Let's move into the next group. Group E.
Uruguay.
Uruguay, who have we got from there? Morgan
Morgan
Sindel.
Sindel, yes.
Played many times in the tournament. Expect big things from those guys.
Egypt.
Egypt, Morgan Lovell London again. Played a few times in this tournament, strong team.
Ireland, GWE.
Oh, Ireland, the first time for them.
First time, okay.
Expecting big things from the Irish.
Australia.
Australia, Overbury EOS. They are made up of a mixture of teams, and they've been there, done that.
Turkey, Optima Systems.
Turkey. Okay, so we've got Turkey, Optima System. That concludes Group E. On to Group F.
Netherlands.
Netherlands, I think that is Celtic. John's in the room. First time for Celtic in this tournament. Let's see who they've got.
Cameroon, Total Security Protection.
Cameroon, also a first time for
First
total
timers.
security protection. So we've got two newbies in there.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Nigeria. Don't even go there, Danny.
Danny's going to trade on the day.
We got Overbury Northern, also a newbie to the tournament.
Croatia, Overbury,
Croatia, Overbury EOS,
Yes.
made up of a mixture of our clients and consultants from Overbury.
Okay.
Could be interesting, this one.
Jamaica AB Group.
And Jamaica AV Group have supported us massively over the last few years. That is an exciting group put forward from Group F. Okay, on to G.
Oh, gee. Germany, Overbury Core. Yes.
Germany, we got Overbury Core.
Yes.
Past winners 3 years ago with England.
Okay.
Poland, we got Poland Evolution Security. They're in the room. Their first time in the tournament.
Ooh, yes.
Good luck.
Good luck. France,
France for
Glamox, Lux.
Glamox Luxonic.
Yes.
They've played with us a few times.
Easily.
Tough team to beat. Well done pronouncing that one.
Scotland.
Scotland, we got Collins Construction in there. Also played in it before. You know what they're doing.
Iceland.
And finally
Assura.
Iceland, some newbies from Assura who are taking part this year.
Okay.
There is no easy group in this World Cup. We are down to the last 5, Group H.
Hopefully there's 5 in here.
We hope there's 5 left in this box. Mauritius, mixed consultancy, their first time in our tournament. Great to have them involved.
Malta, White Paper Co.
Malta, White Paper Company, one of the teams to take one of the last few places. Their first time in this tournament as well.
Mix it up for a first time. Argentina.
Argentina, the
LDD.
boys and girls from LDD. Expect good things from there. It's their first time.
Vatican City.
Vatican City. I didn't even know that was a country.
Seen them in a World Cup before.
I have googled it. It is a country. And it's their first time. Welcome Vatican City.
And last but not least, New Zealand.
And New Zealand rocked their first time. That concludes Group H. So, recap. We have got all 40 teams drawn. Group A, we've got Canada, Belgium, Denmark, England, Sweden. Group B, South Korea, Colombia, Ukraine, Japan and Brazil. Group C, Portugal, San Marino, Ghana, Mexico, Morocco. Group D, USA, Senegal, Spain, Italy and Wales. Group E, Uruguay, Egypt, Ireland, Australia, Turkey. Group F, Netherlands, Cameroon, Nigeria, Croatia, Jamaica. Group G, Germany, Poland, France, Scotland, Iceland. And Group H, Mauritius, Malta, Argentina, Vatican City and New Zealand. So thank you Justin and Danny for pulling that draw for us. Really appreciate it. All that's left to say is the draw has been made. Each group has got 5 teams. We want everyone to play as much time on the pitch as possible. So on the day you'll find out that it's only in that group, only the bottom team doesn't make it through to the next round. But we have created the wooden spoon. So the idea is the top 4 teams, first place will play 4th place. So if you finish first in your group, you get an advantage because you're playing 4th. Second and third will battle it out for the next place. And the 5th team will enter a wooden spoon race. So everyone will get an hour on that pitch. Good luck to everyone. We'll see you on the pitch. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone in the room. That is us.